So is this trip different than any other visiting you're having around the globe?
Well, so far, because I haven't been here that long, you know, it's just been anticipation of finally getting here and to just kind of embrace the fans and the people. I've felt an intensity from fans from Israel since I started running into them years ago when they would ask me to come here and play a show, a concert, and there was like a real intensity. And also friends of mine that are from here or that have spent time here have told me about Israel and how warm it is and the people, and that I should someday come here. So in a sense, it's like for the first time coming to discover something that I've heard about for years that I'm very excited about.
Interesting story about how you keep relations with fans with the internet.
Really, with Twitter, you know, it's the only time that I've ever communicated with fans directly, and I think it's really because of the size of it. It's condensed. You know, you can only send messages or respond to them in 140 characters. So it generally keeps questions from fans brief and about music, and doesn't get into other aspects that are personal or things that really are you know, nothing to do with the relationship between a fan and an artist. And in that way, I've been able to actually communicate with fans directly, answering questions about songs that I've written over the last, whatever it is, 22 years. And there are lots of questions and lots of interesting ones, and you know, I have a lot of normal fans out there. And also, I don't know if it's because you can only use 140 characters, but if somebody's like mentally imbalanced, you can find it, you can smell it on Twitter just like that. It's really easy. If somebody's got an issue that has nothing to do with your music or being a fan, it's really obvious, and then you just ignore that. And there's been no other forum that I've found where I can actually interact with fans so easily. It's difficult to do like at a record store signing or a meet and greet where people are sort of pushed past you, and it might be fans where your music has been very important to them at some point in their life, and you don't really have time to talk to them. So it's in that way, I think it's been something that's really great for me. And fans also, they get to see that you're a normal person in a way that's genuine.
Doing these shows all these years, going around the world, playing tour after tour, festival after festival, do you even get slightly nervous before you go on stage?
Yes, but I don't know what I don't know what the factors are. I'm not sure if it, you know, what it relates to. It's rare, but yeah, I get nervous sometimes. It depends. It can just be a feeling. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the circumstances. It just has to do with, you know, like anybody, just waking up and going to do something and just having the feeling of nervousness or uneasiness. Generally, though, no, I don't usually feel that. And mainly, I think it's because there's what I do, as opposed to when it comes to performing, and it's sort of based on music. I'm not a comedian, so when I go out and play a song, it's really about the music, and I'm kind of involved in it and listening to it as a fan almost as well as someone else is in the audience. And then when it's finished, it doesn't really matter if people laugh or not, because I'm playing the next song and I'm enjoying it. And for some reason that makes the whole audience and my experience one, and we become sort of together. And depending on where I'm performing, it takes 2, 3, 5 songs for the audience to kind of get that feeling, but generally by the end of the show that I do, yeah, everyone in the audience is kind of getting the feeling that we're all sort of doing it together. It's not. I don't like the feeling of separation between me and the people that are there. I feel like we're all sort of listening to the music together.
How do you choose your set list to do on the shows? How do you know what's right for which show?
A lot of it is just the feeling. Sometimes I'll do a set list on the way to a venue, and then when I get there, I'll change it. I never write a set list until the day of the show, usually. And then the rest of it sort of has to do with what have I been playing, and you know, if there's some songs I've been doing a lot and I want to add something, then obviously I have to take something away, because my shows are generally 2.5 hours or 3 hours. So I have a lot of music. So There's also songs that I like to add that have either never been played before live, or haven't been played a lot, or haven't been played in years, and that sort of keeps it fresh for me. But also for the fans, and that's one thing that I'll use Twitter for, or audience members will come sometimes and just write something on a sign and hold it up. And my band doesn't know every single song that I've ever released, so we continually try to learn songs. And generally over time, especially with like the internet and things like that, you'll see certain songs that come up a lot that maybe I don't play that people would like to hear, and if I see that coming up enough, then I run to learn those songs and play them live.
I was wondering what album do you like, your album do you like best that you made?
Upstream, you mean?
No, what album that you made over the years? What do you like? Which one do you like the best and why?
I don't have favorites. I mean, I think they're all different, which is sort of why I suppose that I would go and make albums that are diverse. You know, if I look at different periods of my career, or different bands, for example, I would say, like, for Soundgarden, Down on the Upside is probably my favorite. Mainly because we didn't use a producer for any of it. We mixed it ourselves. It was all completely done by us. And all of the albums really were, even though we had producers, we didn't use them, we didn't listen to them, we didn't allow them to do anything. We just kept them because it made the record company feel safe. And but with Down on the Upside, really everyone in the band was there all the time for every part of the recording. And a couple of years after the record was released, I listened to it. I felt that there was something about it that it was like something that took years to realize. With Audioslave, I think like the first album, the self-titled one, is the most emotional, but really I think my favorite is the third one. It sounds the best sonically by far. Brendan O'Brien produced that, mixed it, and I think sonically and in terms of the band sounding the way that we should sound, that's my favorite album. As far as solo albums, it's, and I can kind of almost put Temple of the Dog in there, they're all very different. And the songwriting is so varied. I think Scream, in a sense, is the most focused artistically of all of them. But I have a soft spot for Euphoria Morning because it was my first solo effort, you know, and in that I think I was the most nervous probably of any period of my life releasing an album when I released that, because it was the first time I ever did a solo record.
No, have you been to the beach yet?
No, I haven't.
You should.
I came in last night, I didn't even know there was a beach there.
There was a beach, it's a great one.
I opened the window this morning, I saw it, yeah.
There's a beach.
Beautiful beach.
Yeah. And
they told me about it on the way from the airport, and we have a beach, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You'll be shocked.
Yeah. Now, if you need a guide, and a very good guy,
okay.
all over the world in Israel, for free.
Really?
You and your wife, and your kids. Right? Yeah.
The band Machina, very famous Israeli band, is gonna play before you tonight. You aware of that?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Do you know the band? Did you hear to their music? Do you have any idea?
No, I've never heard them. I know their name, I know that they're playing, and that's it. I don't know anything about them. Are they good?
They're really good. You gotta hear it tonight, I guess. Unless you're gonna be, I don't know, sleeping or something.
Or at the beach or something.
Exactly. Thank you.
I never really answered your question. In terms of like a lyrical focus, or in terms of messages that I want to convey, one of the things I think that people get when they buy an album, whether it's me as a fan of someone else or whether it's someone buying my albums, but I'll use an example of like me buying Pink Floyd albums and I'm 15 years old or whatever. I think the interpretation where the lyrics and the songs become sort of a soundtrack to my experience in my life, that's what you own when you buy that record or when you listen to that music. And it's always been important to me that whatever it is I'm trying to convey for myself is not something that is sort of pushed over on the listener. That's why, like, when I've done interviews and people ask me, and this happens a lot, where they'll want to go down the list of songs that are on the album and say, okay, and what does this mean? And okay, and then song number 3, what the hell does that mean? And song number 4, what does that mean? And I don't really believe in that. I mean, what it means to me actually changes sometimes over time, depending on the experiences I have performing them. And I really always want it to be open to the interpretation of the fan and the listener, because honestly, I've had probably the most powerful aspect of what I do for me that is moving is having fans come up or write to me and explain periods of their lives where songs were very important to those moments that were often really difficult, and their interpretation of that song is what made it the soundtrack to that moment and helped them through it. And my interpretation could interfere with that, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.